I am extremely excited and scared for Mr. Zod here. Kel'Thuzad coming into Heroes of the Storm, along with a meta that doesn't really favor spellcasters at the moment, and Chromie getting a big update too, so I'm concerned he's going to get a bit run over, but let's forget everything meta today as we dig in to this awesome character that I'm so excited. I love my spellcasters. Sustain is taking over. I'm hoping with some CC on his kit that this can be a pretty big impact guy. And already, I mean, I'm looking at here a decent like wizard attack of 75. You got your 5.5 range. Health is looking okay. You know, basic mana, nothing fancy like that. There is this trait, which makes everything pretty confusing here in the try mode. So I'm certainly excited to try out some real games later today over on Twitch against real people. But Master of the Cold Dark is a quest from level 1. Gain 1 blight every time a hero is rooted by Frost Nova or hit by Chains of Kel'Thuzad. After gaining 15 blight, the cooldown of all basic abilities is reduced by 2 seconds. Let's kind of take a look at that here. 6, 10, 12? Wow, okay. So we're not exactly moving him into playable territory. It just helps him out. After gaining 30 blight, gain 75% spell power. That's a bit of a loaded number. Let's pick a real basic ability here, I guess, since this directly ties to Frost Nova. Let's start there. Create a Nova that explodes after 1 second, dealing damage to enemies inside, and slowing them for 35% for 2.5 seconds. Long time. Nice amount of time. Enemies in the center are rooted for 1 second and slowed as well. Well, let's see. Cool. A stack. 1 stack. Noted over here on my blight counter, which I guess will go to 15 and then 30. So if that does 217, what happens if I complete this quest? 217. 318. Interesting. So this number's actually not going to update then, but we will see that 75 spell power. Yeah, wow, that's quite the update. Okay, so the goal is almost Butcher-like. How do I get to those numbers as fast as possible?
This world shall
Wonder how
be cleansed of the living.
What's his speed here on these auto attacks?
Another link in the chain.
Okay, 1 second flat. It's not too bad. It's very, very tiny. How's that compared to the range of the spells? Okay, you got some pretty nice stuff there. Arrow. Reaches, but still have to walk in, and this guy? Ah, that's even further. Yeah. Kind of strikes me like Gul'dan or even KT. I like the Jaina update they did where they added auto attacks, because Jaina pretty regularly gets in her auto attacks because of the actual Cone of Cold range. But Gul'dan KT often end up hovering around in the back. It's too dangerous to get out an auto attack. Oh, nice. Check out the shadow on his bones. That's great. So it looks like you'll probably be hovering, and if you're dealing with a 6-second cooldown, 20 mana, 45-second cooldown, or 45 mana, 10-second cooldown, and 12-second cooldown, so down to 10. Geez, you can really spam from the back a lot like Gul'dan, so there's not much need to get out those auto attacks in the first place. Maybe there's some talents along the way encouraging it, but how interesting that his range is beyond. That could give him a lot of safety in this sort of more Chromie-dominated atmosphere. But let's see what's going on with the rest of them. Death and Decay. Cooldown 6 seconds, mana 20. After half a second, launch. What? They've started including that. Yeah, they don't just say it's part of the cast time anymore. All these newer characters are getting a short delay or after a delay. Launch an orb that explodes upon hitting an enemy. Any enemy. Dealing damage to the enemy in the area. The explosion leaves behind a pool that lasts 2 seconds. Doing 72 damage every half second. So I can assume that that is... Let's go ahead and toggle cooldown. So 72, 72. If I complete the quest... Nice. Okay, so everything's augmented. That makes sense. Not auto attacks, though, right? Yeah. Those are physical damage. And this is only spell power. Cool. Well, that all makes sense, then. And this last guy, Chains of Kel'Thuzad. 45 mana. So okay, on par with my Frost Nova. Launch a chain, dealing damage to the first enemy hero or structure hit. For 4 seconds after hitting an enemy, chains can be reactivated to launch at an additional enemy, pulling both enemies together and stunning them for half a second. Pulling them both together and stunning.
As the shadow.
Seems like the genius in this will be how you can pull people to where they're gonna be. Maybe not so much even the stun. The stun will be nice maybe for a explosion at half a second. Yeah, so if I did a chains, and then I pull people to said chains area, and with the delay of the chain casting, and a 1 second, so half-second stun, half-second pull, maybe we can pre-cast the Nova and then pull people together, because this stun really isn't that impressive. Then again, if you had a half-second stun on something like Alarak's push, you probably wouldn't feel it too much either, because it's the locomotion, the relocation, that's actually doing all the damage here. So let's go ahead and get out the Lost Vikings, who are hiding in the L's. Oh, we gotta wait. We gotta wait. Let's go ahead and get the minions on too. There we go. So let's give him a yank. And why not? Let's try out the lane clear a little bit. Okay, so that actually casts, and you do sort of get stuck in the animation. Clicking it will not cancel the animation, so we do need to be careful about things like Garrosh and whatnot, who might want to grab you during the time. Is this any enemy? Explodes upon hitting an enemy. Let's try a structure. Cool. It works on structures. Can I cast this works from out of range of buildings? What about chains? Can I be out of range on towers with chains? No. No, I can't. Oh! But I'm currently chaining? Anyway. There's a chain. And pull them together. Okay. Makes sense. Wow, that little health bar getting pretty beat up. Dang. Well, I am a squishy little wizard. So I guess that's to be expected, but whew, always a bit spooky to find out a character you're excited about has such little survivability just from basic auto attacks. So chain, I sort of pre-cast it there and pull them together. Yeah, that seems right. So what happens if I get it on a building?
Yes, right away.
Can I see that? Can I see it on this? Interesting. That might be just an error here in the try mode that we're not seeing chains spin around whatever I'm hitting. But the cast time on this, 4 seconds, is really generous. Because I can get that set up, wiggle around for a good long time. Yeah. Only works on enemies, right? Enemy hero structure. Cool. So let's try then. Are they going to run through? And then we can... Yeah. What's my range on the secondary cast then in that case? Let's find that out. Let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. Infinite? How long's a heart? Let's see. Okay, I can't make it back in time. So let's we'll hit it with the chain, and then we'll mount up and just get as far away as possible. Seems infinite. So if you attach this to a fall stat as he flies away, but you don't have sight. No sight given. Can't even see the own chain, but you can see where you're going to aim it. By the way, this is entirely radial here, and I'm on quick cast, so once I have the mark, which is quick casting out, I'm just using my mouse in the area to recast it. But I can't... Interesting. So I do have reveal on the character there. And what I stun eventually. Either way, the delay on this of 4 seconds is really, really exciting to me. Oh, we're getting pretty close to our quest completion. Yes, right away. Then again, I've been on toggle cooldown, so no real telling yet what's actually going to happen with that and how fast that'll go.
Choose a talent.
Well, let's start making our way through talents then. Gosh, I'm really excited to feel 4-second Death and Decays, 8-second Frost Novas, and 10-second Chains of Kel'Thuzad, plus that spell power. Ooh, what level should I even expect to be finishing this at, even? let's try just hooking up the Lost Vikings with a little bit of damage here. Just kind of seeing what that feels like. Cool. So that's what it felt like. They're a little bit low health now, so this isn't a perfect example. But let's go ahead and complete my quest. Well, considerably more damage, but still very, very squishy, of course.
Choose a talent.
All right, let's go talenting. Plague Lands. So just based off of the quest and the cast times I already have, cooldown reductions, seems like a Death and Decay build would be pretty prime. Chains of Kel'Thuzad doesn't really need any help. And Frost Nova seems to do what it needs to, but it's very much like Alarak, dependent on what I'm able to pull together and make happen. So, the Plague Lands. Increase Death and Decay's duration by 1 second. 1 second? Lasts for 2 seconds, so lasts for 3 seconds. And that works on buildings. Neat. After gaining 30 Blight, increase the radius of Death and Decay's pool by 30%. Ooh, I like that. So, Death and Decay. Nice little circle there. Okay, let's go ahead and complete quest. And get another look at that. Well, it's bigger, certainly. Wow. Ooh. Okay, so what do I got to do for it? 30 Blight. Still not really sure at what point then in time that'll come online, but my guess would be in like a 4-man lane. You're probably looking at level 10, maybe? Like Convection, basically. So maybe level 8 if you're in Braxis and that sort of thing. Either way, that's a while to climb, but oh man, that's nice. And it works on everything, too. How would this fare? Now, the chains aren't going to work because... Ooh, those chains look great, by the way. Oh, no way. I'm going to die to this, but that's actually pretty decent. Oh, I got it. So it gives me the extra second duration, which means we have it on the ground for all but 1 second because of our completed quest. So if I reset my talents and still complete my quest, I always like guys who can do a camp, no matter who they are. And you certainly don't need the radius to do this. But if we cast some more things along the way, be a little less help. You know, not walking away with any real mana missing, but there you're dealing with the more, I guess, early game Jaina sort of equation where you just take a lot, or even Vala, just take a lot of hits, and you're going to have to hearth out or use a well to get back in there. So the area effect doesn't matter for taking camps or anything like that, but I do like the size of it for shooting at a wall. But does that matter at that point in the game? Are we doing sort of wall defenses anymore? We'll see. Blighted Frost. Frost Nova deals 50% more damage to enemies in the center. After gaining 30 Blight, interesting. Increase Frost Nova's root duration by ½ second. Wow. So we're taking that up to 1.5. Ooh, whoa, okay, yeah. So I'm starting to feel this. So you do a ½ second stun, and then into, so 2 seconds of rooted sort of CC in that regard. And do we get something for more Blight on this one too? We do. Increased Chains of Kel'Thuzad's damage by 125%. After gaining 30 Blight, Chains of Kel'Thuzad reduce the armor of pulled foes by 15%. 15% armor. That's a really good number compared to what Arthas and Dahaka have been pushed around to. His chains are always spinning. Do those go away once I cast chains? Or am I just always chainful? That's just funny to see. That was something that came along in Warcraft. World of Warcraft. Warcraft 3 couldn't really afford the graphical space for constantly spinning chains. Interesting. So all these are affected and update in some way as I get deeper in. Well, am I going to land sweet combos? Are people forced to stand in certain areas? Let's go with Plague Lands for now, because that's just the easiest. More damage in the center. Yeah, so these aren't... Nothing here is going to help me damage of the chains. Nothing's going to help me complete my quest any faster here. So let's go for spam. Why not? To 4. to 4. There we go.
Choose a talent.
Yes,
Choose a talent.
All right, Plague Lands.
Choose a talent.
that will be of
Strip
great
Shield. Ooh.
benefit.
Pulling a hero with Chains of Kel'Thuzad grants Kel'Thuzad a permanent 131-point shield, stacking up to 2 times. Why is it called Strip Shield? Oh, Strip Shields. No, he should be stripping enemy shields. Why is... well, I won't question it. Stacking up to 2 times. Additionally, Chains of Kel'Thuzad deal up to bonus damage to shields. Oh, there you go. There's the part of it that strips shields. Granting shields 2 times. Stacking up to 2 times. Okay. Well, then we can assume that if it's stacking up to 2 times, naturally, it's probably the cast and recast, correct? Where you at, Lost Vikings? Come on out here. Oh. Oh, pulling a hero. Okay. Infinite? It appears so. Huh. Infinite shields. Stacking up to 2 times. Neat. Okay. I get it. Some survivability. That's pretty darn early. Level 4 survivability like that. I do like that. That's very tempting. I love increasing my survivability to surprise my enemies.
Choose a talent. Choose
Phylactery of Kel'Thuzad. We've heard a lot about this one. Collecting 10 regeneration globes to charge Kel'Thuzad's Phylactery. Kel'Thuzad's Phylactery can be activated while dead to immediately respawn at the Hall of Storms, but must be charged again. Kel'Thuzad heals for 10% of all spell damage dealt while the Phylactery is charged. All right.
I'll have to trust you on that one.
I guess we don't really have a good... It doesn't do anything along the way, right? Yeah. So, for experiment's sake here, we'll go ahead and grab a Phylactery. Might as well start practicing doing some combos, too. So we got an orb, and it's being tracked down here. Okay? Let's go ahead and complete quests. And I guess I need to take a hit or two
a killing double kill.
to see the healing. 14, 14, 14. Oh, right, because I leave spell damage on the ground. Any spell damage dealt to anybody? Damage dealt? Yeah. So lane minions? That seems decent. That's not a bad looking number. Granted, I'm now sporting my level 1 talent, giving me that increased area.
Well done. Double kill.
That's not a bad amount of healing. I mean, kind of feels along the ways of Lunara's heal talent, which isn't... Oh! Huh. What did I do there? I linked together 2 buildings. It looks sweet. Okay. Oh, so I did damage between the 2, and then there was sort of a lasting chain beneath them. Huh. Could you do a building siege build with barbed chains? And just be Nah, that seems like a waste. It's your most expensive, longest cooldown spell that gives no CC to buildings in the first place. So that's kind of a silly idea. Anyway, I wanted to try the Death Res. Decent, though. Decent healing. No real reason to use it at level 4 here. But if I wanted to be back for some reason, I hit the button, I res, it makes that sort of error noise, and I'm back on the field. Easy enough.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Armor of the Archlich. I was hoping he would get Frost Armor. Activate to gain 50 physical armor for 4 seconds. Upon activation, nearby enemies take damage and are slowed. Huh. Oh, so it's like a Nova sort of in my area. Oh, wow, a big Nova in my area. Interesting. Let's complete the quest. I don't think we're completing the quest at level 4 here, but I am curious. So some armor for me. Not representing itself there very well. Because it's only physical, so it's not going to show. 25-second cooldown on that, though. It's a big reduction. Yeah. This is really powerful stuff for him. A wizard like this to be getting his survivability level so early and getting to choose what he's up against gives you a lot of early pick potential. on a
As the
wizard like
shadow
this.
wills.
Will be interesting to see how his lane clear compares to others, but even though Death and Decay hits the first target, it sticks around on the ground there, so you'll be okay. This does decent lane clear too. So it looks like you're pretty, I mean, the lane minions is walking at you, they all gotta walk through that. That'll get some stuff done. Let's go to 7. Though already 4 is a situational level. I'm liking Plague Lands for its area effect and simplicity. Let's do here. I mean, not dying is always a good idea, but I do like healing myself and being able to stay on the battlefield. I have no other way to get anything like that, so let's do Phylactery. Accelerated Decay. Each time a hero is hit by Death and Decay's pool, they take 20% more periodic damage from Death and Decay for the next 4 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. Times a hero, though. That's a bit of a bummer, but still pretty decent. Let's see it.
In due time.
So, and we'll complete our quest. Okay, that goes up pretty fast. Gosh, the delay on that is pretty solid. Because even though I'm stuck in this animation, I can still... Feels like getting my Frost Nova rolling already. But it's a shame it's just enemy heroes. I know that's a little greedy of me. Could be good, though. Particularly if they want to occupy or stand in that particular area after you've already hooked them up.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Glacial Spike, cooldown 30 seconds. Activate to create a spike that detonates after 4 seconds, dealing 261 damage. Can be affected by chains of Kel'Thuzad. Alright. Let's just see it for damage. So there it is, looking beautiful. Nice little sound on it too as it cracks up. So here, we would have to rely on heroes to be making all our chains or buildings. But suddenly with a Glacial Spike, maybe they're running away. And as they run away, I can hook it up with a Glacial Spike and shoot it backwards. Yeah, and then it's gonna explode. For more damage. Glacial, Interesting. 30-second cooldown on that, 10 seconds. Let's give it a shot. So we'll sort of bruise up the Vikings a bit with our AoEs. And then as they run away with a chain on them, try to hook them up. Or, you know, we'll just instantly explode everybody.
Another soul banished.
That'll be tough to get the explosion damage out on. Though in sort of a spam situation, you can just sort of add it to the pile.
That was rather entertaining.
I doubt there would be much opportunity to do something like that. That seems pretty obvious. Looks great, though. All hooked up and ready to go. It's gonna be tough memorizing that range. But just like Alrac, it's just gonna be some busy practice work until we're all good at that sort of thing. Well, that seems fancy. Every 30 seconds. Can't argue with that. Accelerated Decay seems quite a bit easier, but only hits heroes. So Glacial Spike, really creative. Chains of Kel'Thuzad work, but we still haven't found a talent that increases the range of the chains or does anything to make casting chains easier. So this is currently one of those fancy talents, like those reload talents on Tracer. Still a bit easier to use, level 7 too. Chilling Touch. Every 8 seconds, Kel'Thuzad's next basic attack hits nearby enemies, dealing spell damage instead of physical, and slowing by 30% for 2 seconds. You've got 35, a stun. Cool. So your 35 would override it, but I'm excited about this one. This is a cool sounding talent because it's basic attacks, and augmenting basic attacks on wizards is always super fun. Did I just get more icy?
As the shadow.
It appears so, because my auto attack charged. Yeah. So there's my ice presence, and as soon as it's done, boop, I got a little ice in my hands. Did that? It looked like it splashed, rather than maybe shot everyone in the air. Here, hit all nearby enemies. Oh, so it is a splash attack. Every 8 seconds. Oh, but it's my own auto attack range. We're already finding that's going to be pretty dangerous.
Enemy slain. Double kill. Triple kill.
190. Hitting for 190 with the bonus does it turn it into spell damage, so naturally my auto attack gets bigger. That makes sense. Yeah, 261. Every 8 seconds, though. Or you can accelerate Decay, which is going to happen every 4 seconds. So why wouldn't I want that? I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's cool. It's quite cool. But it seems dangerous, given the current survivability. Granted, we could get really good at some of these shield things, or popping armor of the Archlich at the right time with the support on the team. But why not go Glacial Spike and blow their minds, or Accelerated Decay and have an easier time killing heroes? This seems really neat, but on an 8-second cooldown, I'm not sold. Let's go ahead and head to 10. Maybe there's something auto-attacky in the up to 20 range that we can play around with and stack into. But for now, Plague Lands, Phylactery, Accelerate Decay, Glacial Spike eventually when I'm feeling fancy. Frost Blast, 70 mana, 100-second cooldown, wow. Launch a Meteor of Ice at an enemy hero upon impact. The meteor deals low damage, but that is because... and damage to the enemies in the area. Ooh, so kind of a Greymane thing. Secondary target is actually quite a bit higher. So these numbers, of course, not augmented by my quest, which is not complete at the moment. All enemies hit by the Frost Blast are rooted for 1.5. All right, test cast. Instant? Oh, wow, no cast time on that. Yeah. But what is the range? Well, the range is okay. Pretty slow stuff. Let's try it on the Vikings. Doesn't matter if they run out of range. And they're all rooted in there. That's nice. Wow, so that's really easy to use. Perhaps deceptively easy to use. Because we'd have to be careful.
Double kill. Triple kill.
That we don't waste it. It's just so easy to cast. I can see, like, Pyroblast, you're constantly thinking, man, am I going to get interrupted? Ravenous Spirit, you're always thinking, man, I need to bait out those cooldowns. But this thing's just so darn easy, I can see a lot of really bad casts of it happening. Still, AoE root, huh? Good stuff. Let's see the damage with a completed quest. So less damage to the primary target, and more damage to the outer target. Okay, okay, 615 there. That's pretty impressive. It's a good number. Let's try the other guy.
Choose a talent.
Shadow Fissure. 50 mana, cooldown 15 seconds. Create a fissure anywhere on the battlefield that explodes after 1.5 seconds, dealing damage. Ooh, good damage, too, with our quest complete. Okay. Anywhere you say? I mean, could I make these guys angry? No. Enemy heroes. Ah, okay. Every 15 seconds, though. Well, good you don't, you know, start dragging things weird places. Oh, there he goes. Let's go ahead and complete our quest. I mean, it's neat. I don't know what human player would allow me to do that exactly. But 100%, I mean, global, can I? Yeah, why not? Because, you know, they're invincible in there anyway. And no damage to lane minions. Huh. That's super duper cool. I mean, the team fight ability of this Frost Blast just seems incredible. This applies no slow or anything like that.
Triple kill.
But super crazy neat. I really like it. Gosh, is he busy enough, though, with chains to be watching the entire map for Shadow Fissure? Plus, I've already spec'd into doing AoEs, and this is going to root people. So, as cute and as awesome, and I'm really eager to play with this and hit people who are not paying attention, particularly in the MMR-less environment of the PTR. I think it'll look really good, but let's go with Frost Blast for effectiveness sake. So we got the Plague Lands, Phylactery, Accelerated Decay, Frost Blast to hold them down in that said area. Let's go to 13. Still curious to see if there's any auto attack talents hiding in here, so we can maybe augment that really cool
Choose a
Chilling
talent.
Touch that just a little lackluster
Choose a
without
talent.
anything stacked on top of it.
Choose a talent.
Icy Grasp increased Frost Nova's slow duration by 1.5 seconds. Wow. So they want to give us a full 4 seconds of 35% slow. Ouch. Gross. Good thing there's so few executioners left in the game. Off the top of my head, those are Lost Vikings, Greymane, Raynor. Some weird people have them too. I think Hammer's still holding on to one. And, oh right, the character unique ones like Give 'em the Axe on Muradin and Acid Drip Mandibles on Anubarak. I mean, it's just 4 seconds. That's a long time to get out those bonus hits. And things like those unique ones, or any execution, I think, gives duration of the increased auto attacks, whether or not they're currently under the effects, as long as they were attacked during the effects of that. So, hey, tons of wiggle room to get in that bonus damage. Level 13, usually those are level 16 talents as well. After Chains of Kel'Thuzad's stun expires, the enemy is also slowed by 70% for 1.25. Well, that seems like the easy one. Let's go ahead and give it a shot here on our Vikings. Because, you know, ideally we're thinking, yeah, at level 13, of course, we can assume the quest would be done. But here, you know, I probably want to maybe line up a good chain, and then we'll do a thingy and pull them together into it. Oh, I was slightly off. Okay. Line up a chain, thingy into it.
Enemy slain.
Look at that slow. After being pulled 1.25. I mean, certainly people are going to notice a 70% slow. They have to move during it, though. That's the part I don't like about this, is it's after the chains. And after the chains, you should have a Frost Nova or some sort of follow-up anyway. No. This might be really good with Glacial Spike. Because Glacial Spike allows me to fight them out of lane with a chain pull and no other heroes around. So this slow would be very effective in that situation. Maybe even allow me to... So let's go ahead and reset this talent build. Let's do here, why not? We'll go for Strip Shields, interesting. Glacial Spike. Let's do Shadow Fissure. And then after the pool. Okay, so I'm making an engagement. I'm poking away. I hit the target. They're running away. Behind them, I throw out a Glacial Spike. Boom. Hook them up. So they're slowed for 70%. During that time, they would run away while I land the Frost Nova. Problem is, if you do this combo right, my thought would be they'd be rooted during it anyway. The Glacial Spike is needed in this particular idea, fighting out of lane, but the 70% slow isn't. But, yeah, I guess the big thing is that the 70% slow, I'm probably spending too much time on here, it does allow me now to use my chains outside of a combo with Frost Nova and still have a good CC on the other side of it. So that's fair. And it's after expire on the stun. So if you're not doing a root on your Frost Nova, immediately following your chains, that's not a bad talent. But what's going on here? Pulling two heroes together with Chains of Kel'Thuzad reduces its cooldown by 4 seconds. Well, I'm at 10, so you want to take me down to 6. I mean, that seems pretty nice. Awful generous of you.
Choose a talent.
But let's see what it feels like in lane. We got some Lost Vikings here. Okay. We can assume he's got a buddy right next to him. Need to toggle those cooldowns off. Oh, well, he died to that.
Another soul.
Okay. 6 seconds. Oh, so it is going in the background underneath the reactivate. That changes quite a bit then, because that means that this reset feels even better. It's not taking it to 6, it's taking it to whatever the duration of that 4 seconds I've already spent. Cute. Gosh, that... I don't think anybody... Whew. Wow. So these are all super fancy. Slow duration, but you're slowed as long as you're hit by any part of it. Enemies in the center. Yeah, so any part of this slows. So Icy Grasp seems super easy. This seems creative. And this is your pro talent to which most of us first day will not be using and casting that many chains anyway. Plus, we don't really know his mana issues yet. He seems okay here in the try mode, but of course you get on the field there, and if you're spamming stuff every couple seconds, we may find that he's really hurting. Cool. Up to 16.
Choose a talent.
I like
Choose a
Plague
talent.
Lands,
Choose a
Phylactery,
talent.
Accelerated Decay,
Choose a
but there is that
talent.
cuteness out of lane we talked about.
Choose a
Frost
talent.
Blast. Here I guess I'm going to do Icy Grass because
Choose a
it's
talent.
easy. Arcane Echoes. Whenever Kel'Thuzad hits an enemy hero with Death and Decay Explosion, its cooldown is reduced by 1.25. The explosion. I'm guessing that is to say the initial cast. Okay. There was a basic one. Cool. And an initial jump there. So, naturally, it can be expected that with a pile of Lost Vikings, I get an instant reset. Really? It worked that well? Because the initial blast, yeah. Down to 1 second. Oh, man. Okay.
A killing blow.
That seems good. I'm, of course, spoiling myself here by hitting the Lost Vikings, a guaranteed 2 or 3 hits per go. But darn tootin', that seems really good on my spammable, super spammable now spell with an increased area and floor duration, dealing more damage periodically. Why wouldn't I want that? Hungering Cold. Enemies rooted by Frost Nova take an additional 89 damage, so that would be increased by my quest. Each time they are damaged by Kel'Thuzad during the next 4 seconds. Enemies root. Each time. Interesting. Okay, so my quest is currently down. So let's go ahead and reset my talents. None of this really matters
talent.
up to this point.
Choose a
Hungering
talent.
Cold. And there's... Okay, so it's coming off as spell damage. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and complete my quest then. I am getting bonus on top of that by quite a bit. What's going on? So I'm getting quest ticks. What's the crit there? Or is that just center damage? Inside, slowing them. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, interesting. Huh. Enemies rooted take additional damage each time they're damaged. So it looks like the act of rooting is causing its own crit damage without me having to do anything else. So wait, does that work on Death and Decay? So Death and Decay. Hitting.
So
Rooted. Yeah. Wow. Oh my. Well, that's a cool way to tack on some bonus damage. Huh. Very spam friendly. Wow. Okay, so this would totally be your root duration. Maybe in that case.
Choose a talent.
Perhaps this would be the Glacial
Choose a
Spike because
talent.
you're just going for
Choose a talent.
the pylon. Maybe a slow duration. But
Choose a
that doesn't
talent.
change this because this is a flat 4 seconds no matter what. All the same. So let's say I get this off for bonus into the thingy. But that would have already almost faded off by the time I get off that. So the full combo there, dealing 3,200 some odd damage. Not too shabby. But is longer. Man, it's going to have a lot of playroom. That's pretty cool. Power of Ice Crown. Stunning, rooting, or slowing a hero grants 6% spell power for 10 seconds. Stacking up to 30% spell power for 10 seconds. Well, okay. So, obvious question is,
Choose a talent.
eternal
Choose a talent.
do I have a good graphic for it, first of all? And does it reset based on... Cool. So I can wait till the very end of the next one before hitting another one for another stack. Cool. 10 seconds, and you've got 8 seconds, 10 seconds here. So you really have to hit your Frost Nova to keep this going.
So be it.
If I hit multiple heroes, do I get multiple stacks? Would be the next question. And it's whenever I root something, right? Stun, root, slow. Okay, so Frost Blast is amazing in that case, because here it goes. 0 to 3 anyway.
Enemy
Yeah. So you can really power yourself up after the frost. That's a frost blast talent. Stunning, rooting, or slowing, because this doesn't slow at all, does it? No. No, it just deals damage. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Boy. So Hungering Cold seems like the pro one. Power of Ice Crown seems like the team fight. Easy use Frost Blast one. And Arcane Echoes is sweet because spamming is awesome. And this is only going to cost you 20 mana anyway. And has a longer cast range than your auto attack. So it's nice and super safe. So, really cute talents throughout here. I'm feeling Death and Decay into Frost Blast because it's easy. Let's do slow duration to make things easier. And then here, oh man, I'm going to do Powers of Ice Crown today because I could power up after my frost only once every 100 seconds, but still, I mean, that's the team fight, right? And if I got 30% more spell power for my entire team fight after activating it on the back of a root, that seems really good, but these are all really good, so we'll just have to feel it out. And maybe they all might be so good that it's just one of those where one of them is going to naturally win out and be the optimum at the end of the day. Let's head to 20. None of this matters. For now, Death Chill. When Frost Blast root expires, enemies are slowed by 40, because you need more slows. Because you're not going to cast things on them once they're in there rooted, right? How long is this root? 1.5 seconds? Yeah, and then you need... it's a lot of slows. Heroes killed while under the effect of Frost Blast instantly release another Frost Blast explosion. While under the effect of Frost Blast. Enemies hit by us are slowed. Okay, so that's the question, right? Is my 3-second slow duration part of this free Frost Blast, or do I have to get an actual kill? Yes. So the duration, nice spiking effect there. Wow. Okay, so it's the whole 4 seconds. So if you kill them on the back of this, of course you would want Powers of Ice Crown into a giant, and then you kill them all and set it off again. Now with 30% bonus spell power on top of the 75 because you have it from your quest and stuff. Oh my god, that seems really good. But 100-second cooldown, that's the limiting factor. Quite the limiting factor. Interesting. Let's check out the other guy. Shadow Fissure. Might of the Scourge hitting heroes with Shadow Fissure resets the cooldown. Well, fantastic. Why not? So all you gotta do is hit. Oh, toggle cooldowns, but I guess it would be working this way anyway. There's my one cooldown.
Well done. Double kill.
Yeah? I mean, it's super neat, right? Super duper neat. 15-second cooldown. So a bit of a bummer if you miss, but... It's a really fun ability, but the game often comes down to game-winning team fights in the end. There's so much comeback mechanic. Blue shelling it with a Death Chill seems way more valuable than Might of the Scourge, which is only going to hit heroes in the first place. Shifting Malice. Whoa, look at that cooldown. Activate to dash forward, dealing damage to enemies in the path. Takedowns reset the cooldown of Shifting Malice. Wow. So they want you to mess that up, and mess it up bad if you're going to mess it up at all. Well, what's the range on it? How's it work? It looks kind of small, actually. And all he does is just sort of boost forward. There's no fancy spin to it. I mean, well, actually, the chain effect there on the back is really sweet. Where does chains go? Oh, the chains are tied to my quest because I complete my quest, and now I'm graphically represented by chains. Got it. Okay. I thought maybe that dissipated my chains or something. Neat, but that cooldown is nuts.
This world shall be cleansed of the living.
I guess I gotta kill Eric. Or get him low anyway. So what, then we can shift through him and...
That was rather entertaining.
So if I shift through him, yep,
Did I say
that makes sense.
about your
Double kill. Triple kill.
That just seems like a super duper late game. When do you get practice doing this up to level 20 kind of thing. And it's not like it's not long enough to get a Genji kill from beyond a wall. Speaking of which, though, can it go through walls and stuff like that? We'll probably have to get a fresh lich to try that out. Let's try it out, though. Let's see if we can go through walls. For some reason, let's say I don't want kills at all, but once every 240 seconds, for some reason or another, I need to get back through a gate or something like that because I've been thrown over it by Garrosh. No, it can't go through walls either. Can't go over terrain. And, I mean, it's basically a torpedo dash. And, I mean, living in the late game is always worth it, but you got a Phylactery. So you want to live more? I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good compared to Death Chill and winning the game. But let's see what's going on with Damned Return.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
The Damned Return. Cooldown 15 seconds. Activate to create a Shade of Naxxramas. That lasts 15 seconds and mimics Kel'Thuzad's casts of Death and Decay. I certainly have been enjoying my Death and Decay build. Okay. Huh. Not exactly a shade of Naxxramas, but... Or maybe that's what they look like underneath. Maybe that's what... Oh, the shades! Not a shade as in the shades in World of Warcraft, but the shade that you would make by sacrificing an acolyte in Warcraft 3. Oh, he missed. How are we missing? Okay. Okay, so his angle's a little different. Yeah, so I can hit and he can miss. Gotcha. Full damage for his version? Let's see. If I activate him and I shoot it like this, we can make him hit, right? And me miss. 245. Yeah, wow, we're both doing the exact same? Mimics Kel'Thuzad's casts? Seems so. So if I do my full Death and Decay Frost Blast, I guess here I went with Icy Grass, reduce the cooldown. Wait, reduce the cooldown whenever Kel'Thuzad hits an enemy hero with Death and Decay Explosion. Does that mean my return gets a 2? Let's go ahead and toggle those off. Yeah, well, they're both increasing their damage. That's pretty sweet. I want to see on his next go if I get a cooldown reduction for hitting. It looked like I did, but I kind of missed it. No. Whenever Kel'Thuzad hits an enemy hero with Death and Decay. Okay, so the wording is there. Enemy hit by Death and Decay, increased Death and Decay. Okay, so all of those are affected, including the area effect, I can assume. They both have increased area effect? Yeah, so this one only affects Kel'Thuzad's Death and Decay. So in that case, if I want to do Shade, I can probably skip that, maybe. But it is reducing my cooldown, and he's based off my cooldowns anyway, so we're both getting the spam in that case. Well, I certainly found my favorite build. Curious to see what you guys come up with. Today will be the experiments over on twitch.tv/KyleFergusson. And we'll be taking y'all's questions and seeing what we can cook up and playing some PTR games. Hope to see y'all there. I'm thrilled. I'm excited.